Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Daily Football Roundup proudly brings to you the best damn podcast in the world, the 12-Ounce Curl Route Podcast. I am your host, Aaron Current. You can find me on Twitter at Aaron Current. My co-host Kyle is on Twitter at DF Roundup, and my co-host Corey is not on Twitter. What is going on, fellas? What's up?
You know, one thing that strikes me about Corey, and he said it on the podcast, once or twice already this season, it's sports betting is now legalized in the state of Kentucky, and my man still prefers to go to the sports book in person instead of using his phone. So I know that Corey is never going to catch up to technology. That is 100% okay. That's fine. We love him for it.
I thought we already figured that out by now, but I have my slips. I went to a smoking room at the Red Mile and played a slot game that I didn't know what happened. I just put like $10 $1 bills in, and I won $114. Nice. And I brought that slip to the other place and cashed it in, and they gave me more money. Like, it's weird. I don't know. I like my slips, man. I love slips. It means more when it's in your hand,
Love Corey is our 80-year-old co-host here on the 12 Exactly Route podcast.
Back in my day, you had to talk to the bookie.
You had to meet him in that alley, and then he's either going to give you something or he was going to shank you. One of the two.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I've been.
That
was a good time.
What a wild year in the NFL so far. Everybody, we all went 3-3 last week in the six-pack challenge. So none of us had all the same games either. I picked two different from Corey. Corey picked two different from Aaron, and Aaron, I don't know how many you and I had separate. I think 4. So there was a bunch of different picks made, and we all still were very mediocre with it.
Yeah. Well, it like I said, my goal each week is at least 3-3, staying 500. I'm happy with that. If I can go above that, I'm making money, So it is what it is. But we'll get right into it. The six-pack challenge from last week. We started right early with Thursday night football. The Detroit Lions traveling to Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers, and the Detroit Lions win 34-20. Myself and Corey had Detroit covering the 1.5 point spread, and Kyle just cannot pick against his Packers. He picked them plus 1.5. My take from this game, Kyle, I'll let you take over after me. I miss David Montgomery in Chicago. The guy just runs the ball hard, and it's hard to hate that guy. He always played hard, even in Chicago on terrible teams where he had nothing else around him. You knew David Montgomery was going to run hard, and he continues to do that in the city of grit in Detroit. Kyle,
he was also supposed to be hurt more real quick. He will go, but Montgomery was supposed to be hurt, and then he wasn't.
Yeah.
That backfield in Detroit is weird because that was supposed to be Jahmyr Gibbs' backfield, getting drafted as high as he did. And David Montgomery comes back. He wasn't going to play. Same with Taylor Decker. He wasn't going to play, and then they were both active and ready to play. And David Montgomery went for over 100 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Jahmyr Gibbs is just watching basically. Green Bay, I don't know. I think they like to play from behind. I'm not really sure what's going on with Green Bay, aside from injuries to, Christian Watson was back. David Bakhtiari is now out for the year. He's on the IR. Elton Jenkins should be back this week. Yeah. It's knee injury. I think David Bakhtiari's career probably over. This is his 4th knee surgery in 3 years. I think he'll hang it up. That's going to be my guess. Because a knee injury is definitely very significant
or get traded to the Jets.
And if that happens and they take on that contract, thank you, New York. But Jair Alexander, I believe, missed Thursday night's game as well. We're supposed to get Eric Stokes back. I'm pretty sure I said it when we went over the NFC North is Green Bay is going to be a 500 team. And I get myself so psyched for them to play a team. And I'm like, oh, they can beat them. And they can't beat them. So it hurts as a Packers fan that they lost. It hurts that I chose Green Bay plus 1.5, but I took Detroit to win the division, and I think they're going to do just that. Green Bay, as it looks right now, is the only team that, I mean, standings wise, yes, Minnesota's 1-3, and it's the NFL. Anything can happen. But Detroit's going to run away with this division. I'd say they have it locked up by week 14, week 15, probably.
Yeah, and I know I talked about David Montgomery, but I was really impressed by their defense as well. They, like I said at the season preview, they just embody everything that is Dan Campbell. You know, we're going to come out and bite you in the kneecap and get up and keep swinging, and that's what Detroit does, and it fits that team and it fits that city. You know, they've been through a lot of tough times in Detroit, so I'm really happy for their fans, the ones that stuck around through all those hard times. I mean, you see greats like Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson retire at the peak of their careers, and then they trade away Matt Stafford, and I'm sure it seemed doom and gloom to a lot of Lions fans. And to do what they've been doing is really incredible for them, honestly. But we'll move on unless you guys have something else to add.
I gotta say something real quick because I bet so many C notes on those lines. These lines are good. These lines are great. I think they're going to kill the division. They looked so good, and they're barely using their number 1 overall pick. And that's crazy to think about. Their defense has gotten so much, which there was no place to go except up for that defense.
Right.
And they've gotten so much better. Their second-round pick, Branch, he is killing it. He is also one of those people that if he gets beat, he goes down with an injury. So that's a weird thing. I don't like that. But like they drafted so well, and they're keeping doing this. And then with Minnesota doing what they're doing, Minnesota's still going to be around. But this is Detroit's to lose, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. I really like the linebacker they drafted too, Jack Campbell out of Iowa.
Yeah, yes, yes.
He's a monster, just a tackling machine. He was always really good in college. I thought they took him too early, but I mean, if that's your need, I guess go for it. But we'll move on to Bloody London Sunday at 9:30 a.m. The Atlanta Falcons at Jacksonville, quote unquote. This game was in London. I had Atlanta covering the 3 points. You both had Jacksonville winning by at least 3, and Jacksonville dominated this game 23-7. Desmond Ridder threw a couple of picks. They didn't really lean on Bijan Robinson. I don't know what the hell they're doing in Atlanta. It seems like they need a quarterback, which is something we kind of noticed coming into the season. They were kind of putting it all on Desmond and saying, like, it's time to put up or shut up, you know. And it seems like he's shutting up this far in the season. And it really sucks for him. You know, he went to Cincinnati and took him to the playoff and all that, and drafted to Atlanta, and they put all these weapons around him, and he's just not the answer, fellas. I don't know how else to put it. Corey, what did you feel about this game?
So to me, it's definitely time to bring in the Green Lizard. Like it just is. Like Ritter's not the guy. Look, coming from a Patriot fan who knows that I don't have the guy either, I would be tickled pink if the Green Lizard was in New England right now.
I put him in, honestly.
Put him in, and see what happens. Yeah. Just see what happens.
I'm assuming that you're talking about Taylor Heineke. I've never heard him called the Green Lizard.
Yes.
Where did that come from?
Well, he has a lizard. Aaron's asked me this 100 times. He's got a tattoo of a lizard on his arm, forearm, and somebody from wherever the hell he came from gave him that nickname, and he was called the Green Lizard. A couple shows picked it up, a couple didn't. His nickname is the Green Lizard.
This show's picking it up, the Green Lizard. I love it. I agree. I don't understand. You know, I can understand from the Atlanta Falcons front office perspective of we have confidence in Desmond Ridder because we want to look like we got a steal with Desmond Ridder. Coming from a smaller school, Cincinnati is a smaller school, and you know, putting all these weapons around him, but it's not working. You know, you throw the green lizard.
Would you consider that a steal?
I wouldn't. I mean, he was what, a third round pick, I believe, third or fourth.
That's what I'm saying. Like, would you consider it steal? I don't think so.
I think that when you draft a quarterback not in the first round, you're allowed to be more patient with that quarterback. You don't expect that quarterback to come in and start right away. And when he does come in and make mistakes, you say, well, he was a third rounder, he was a fourth rounder. He's allowed to do that. But when you take a guy in the first round and he comes in and he stinks up the place, and you're like, oh my God, why did my organization draft this guy? But I don't know. I don't know how long Desmond Ridder goes. This is right now that Falcons are 2-2. What would they be with Heineke under center? Are they planning on, not being competitive in the South this year? Because the Buccaneers are only 3-1. They're not out of it, and it's still real early in the season, but you spent, and we talked about this last week, you spent so many high draft picks on all these weapons. You have Desmond Ridder quarterback. And Mac Hollins was giving him the business on the sideline too. I think he's losing the team. I think he's losing confidence in his teammates, and it's not looking good for Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'll say this real quick. As much as I liked Desmond Ridder at Cincinnati. Look, college is different than NFL.
Yeah,
I could totally see the New England Patriots unfortunately trading for him, because like Mac Jones ain't the dude either. No. But I honestly think Ridder's better than Mac Jones at this point. So I can see some weird trades going on like that, to where Atlanta be like, sure, let's see what happens.
So to get completely off topic, Mac Jones behind center for Atlanta, or Desmond Ridder behind center for Atlanta, who does better in Atlanta?
Mac
Jones. I'd say Mac. I mean,
Mac Jones.
He had all those weapons around him in Alabama, and did okay.
Yeah, I think
that's what I'm saying though. It's like but not bad for let's do that trade, see what happens. It's not going to happen, obviously.
And the only reason people are upset with Mac Jones or say Mac Jones isn't the guy is because he was picked in the first round. If Mac Jones was picked in the second, third, fourth round, maybe he'd be getting cut a little bit more slack.
If Mac Jones went to the San Francisco 49ers, he'd have been the greatest quarterback of all time.
If I went to the San Francisco 49ers, I'd be the greatest quarterback.
Exactly. Like if I wanted CJ Stroud so damn bad, and we'll get there eventually about CJ Stroud. I wanted him so bad, and it just didn't happen. And then when we got Mac Jones, I was like, God.
Yeah.
We'll get to
I was with you on this year's draft class. I had CJ Stroud and then Will Levis. Biasly, I had him second. I just don't believe in Bryce Young's size, but I mean it's looking pretty good for him. It's fine, man. We'll move on. Sunday at 1:00, a game that shocked the hell out of me. The Miami Dolphins at Buffalo. Miami 20, Buffalo 48. Wow. All three of us actually had Miami covering the 2.5 point spread. They were 2.5 point underdogs going to Buffalo, and I was a little shocked by the spread. They had just put up 70. I know it's Denver, but they had just put up 70 points on them. I expected them to go up there and at least hold their own, but it's like, I think I heard Colin Cowherd say it Monday, and he kind of put it perfectly. Miami has the team perfect for a track meet, but in a street fight, Buffalo's going to beat you up, and that's exactly what they did in this game. They just beat the hell out of them, and there's a guy they got on the outside named Stephon Diggs. You might want to put someone on him because the guy tore him up on Sunday, man. Josh Allen had a Josh Allen game finally. Maybe it's kind of rolling for Buffalo now after stumbling out of the gates against the Jets. Corey, this is your division, man. What do you think of this game?
So I did technically pick the Buffalo Bills to win the division. I have I spent a lot of money on Miami plus 2.5. Let's put it that way. That did not work out. I think Buffalo. I also think Miami picks this game up come week 18 in Miami. So, and that might be for either a division or a number 1 seed or a 2 seed or something like that. But I'm okay with Miami doing what they did. Buffalo came out and played so good and just shut them down. Now, granted, Ramsey might be available week 18. Ramsey was not available against Stephon Diggs. So that's a kicker. That's a huge kicker right there. But I don't think this is over between these two teams, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I mean, a divisional game, it never is it? Go ahead, Kyle. What'd you feel on this one?
Well, I think we all kind of got being boozled on this one. Miami plus 2.5. I'm pretty sure we all said last week, oh, Miami will probably win this game, and they came nowhere close to that. Buffalo showed they have the better defense, to be honest. I mean, Sean McDermott is a defensive head coach. Mike McDaniel is an offensive head coach. And, they have better players on defense as well. I don't think Tyreek Hill was shut down. I don't think Jalen Waddle really did too much. Buffalo has the better quarterback too. So it's like I said earlier, the NFL is weird. Miami goes from putting 70 points up last week to put 90 points up this week. 20 points up this week. And, week 1, Buffalo lost to the Zach Wilson-led New York Jets. And I'm saying that they were led by Zach Wilson because Aaron Rodgers played 4 snaps.
Yeah.
So it's just trying to get your thumb on these games. And even when we're picking against the spread or not picking up against the spread, it's still, you just any given Sunday.
Yeah, that's true. Corey, we lost your camera there. Do you still have audio? I guess not. I'm not sure what we should do here. Should we just move on or wait for him?
This is why we have 3 people. So if something happens to one of them, we can power on. We'll pick Corey back up when he gets back in here. So let's push forward to the next game.
Yeah. So the next game was Sunday at 1:00 as well. It was a battle of 2 teams who hadn't won a game. It was Minnesota 21, traveling to Carolina. They beat them 21-13. All 3 of us had Minnesota covering the 4.5 point spread on this. And they did just that. I think it wasn't like a crazy blowout. It was kind of sloppy. I think if I remember correctly, Kirk Cousins threw like 2 picks, and one of them was a 99-yard pick six, and the other was in the end zone as well. So they finally got the fumbling under control, and now Kirk's throwing picks. I just don't know if Minnesota is going to be able to get it together this season, especially with, like we said earlier, with Detroit kind of taking this division. They need to make up games in this division. And, I mean, they beat Carolina. I'm happy about that because the Bears now have the first and second draft pick in overall, and it looks like a whole nother rebuild. Again, we'll get into that in the next game, but for now, Minnesota wins and Minnesota covers. I mean, I don't know what to really pull from this game other than it was just kind of meh to me. Kyle, what'd you think?
I thought for sure when this game started and Kirk Cousins threw that 99-yard pick, I was like, oh, great. Here we go again. Another losing week in the 6-pack challenge. But they were able to pull it back out. There was 2 defensive touchdowns in this game, one by Carolina and one by Minnesota on a scoop and score. And then Justin Jefferson, I think, had 2 as well. But yeah, I mean, Minnesota has not looked like Minnesota. Last year they won how many 1-score games? Like 11 or something like that.
11
yeah, crazy.
Now they're 0-3.
Yeah, not good. But with Minnesota, just, I mean, they've got to get it together. They should have beaten Carolina by more than 8, in my opinion, because Carolina hasn't looked good either. So, Corey, what are your thoughts?
I did an alt line. I pushed it all the way to 9.5 because I thought Minnesota would blow the shit out of them. Should have stopped. Should have stopped. Yep. Should have stopped. Yep. No, this was a get right game for Minnesota, in my opinion. They got to figure out the fumble stuff. They just have to.
Well, they did in this game, and then Kirk started throwing picks. That's what I was mentioning earlier while you were off.
I don't feel like they got right in this game, though. You barely beat Carolina. They had a lead on you early in this game.
They got the W. They got the W. Get the easy win out of the way. Get the easy win out of the way. Let's focus on some more stuff. I don't know what their next upcoming schedule is per se, but like.
I know they play the Bears in a couple of weeks.
No, that's another get right game, obviously. Yeah. But
it is for everyone.
Yeah. Oof.
They say good teams win and great teams cover, but I'm not sure the Vikings are either of those categories.
They play the Chiefs this week.
Oh shit.
And then they play Chicago.
Yikes.
And then they play Chicago, and then they play San Francisco, and then they have Green Bay.
Fuck.
And we got a comment in here. I missed the first 18 minutes, but did I miss Aaron's take on the Bears Broncos game? You did not, Michael Powell.
No, sir,
it's coming. Buckle up. Stay tuned because we're gonna hear the rant. Give it a second.
I'm willing to buy Aaron a 59.50 to a different team if he just goes in and gets rid of him. Just gets rid of them.
Well, the sad thing is my favorite AFC team is the Bengals, and they're not doing so well either. I guess we might as well get on into it and give the people what they want. Sunday, 1:00, the Denver Broncos traveled to Soldier Field and defeated my beloved Chicago Bears 31-28. Myself and Corey had Denver covering the -3.5. And Kyle, you had the Bears covering the 3.5. Good thing we got on this line early because this thing moved, I believe, down to 2.5 at kickoff. So you got saved on that one, Kyle. I'll just get right into it.
Let's go, baby. Cook.
Matt Eberflus, I told you at the beginning of the season, is absolute trash. He is a defensive head coach that does not know defense. He runs a defense that is stuck in the dark ages, a Tampa 2 defense that hasn't went to the Super Bowl since 2006 when we played the Colts. And Peyton Manning ripped that defense to pieces. There's ways to beat it. Everyone can beat it. On top of that, our quarterback, Justin Fields, finally looked good. He threw for 300-plus yards and 4 touchdowns. He was on early. He was hitting deep balls. He was not getting flustered in the pocket. There was one play where they did a naked boot, and he had a guy in his face. He makes the guy miss and throws a little touchdown pass to Justin Herbert or Khalil Herbert that would have broken the internet if Patrick Mahomes had made that throw. But no, Justin Fields made that throw. And then it starts adding up. It starts creeping in. They're coming back. They're coming, but they tried the naked bootleg again. Guess what? Guy right in his face. And Justin said after the game, I'm told to not take a sack there and dirt the ball. That's a coaching issue, A. And B, when he tried to dirt the ball, well, that's a fumble. They took it all the way back for 6 and tied the ball game. But we still had a chance to win. Wait, there's more. 4th and less than a yard. They run Justin up to the line of scrimmage, and they try to get Denver to jump. Number one, last time you did that, our left tackle jumped and gave 5 yards. So why are we trying that? Secondly, when it doesn't work and you call a timeout, you kick the field goal. You take the points. You chalk it up as a loss. But no. Our genius head coaches sent them back out there. They didn't try the what they're calling now the brotherly shove that always consistently gets at least 3 yards per play. They did it a week before in Kansas City, so I know it's in the playbook, bud. They go into shotgun formation for half a yard. That was your bright fucking idea with your coaching job on the line, you fucking idiot.
Wasn't the only time that somebody went into shotgun with 1 yard to get, and they're like, oh, wait, let's get 6 yards instead.
It's absolutely awful. It's dumb. It's dumb coaching. It's coaching scared. You got to, if you don't get them to jump, you got to take the field goal. Powell, the guy who was in the comments, was texting me. He's the only Broncos fan I know. So he was texting me all game, and he was like, you got to take the points there. And I told him straight up, I was fine with going for it. Perfectly fine with going for it. The game's on the line. You know your defense is not going to stop them because we've seen that consistently. So go for it. Run the clock down a little more. Maybe kick a closer field goal. Or who knows? Maybe you get lucky and get in the end zone. But that play call sucked. It was stupid from the start. As soon as I saw him go out there and shotgun, I knew we weren't going to get it. There's no way. Why?
Riddle me this, Batman. Not even with Khalil Herbert or anybody like that. But if you have Tractorcito, or if you have anybody, why move them back 5 yards to get the first down?
Not only
Why is
that,
that a thing?
Not only that, the personnel was incorrect. We're paying a fullback. We didn't have the fullback on.
One
We're
of
paying
6 teams that has a fullback.
We're paying Mercedes Lewis.
Yep.
All he does is block. He wasn't in on that play.
He did catch a pass this week. I saw it.
Yeah, I know. Justin was balling in the first half. He looked really freaking good. I was pumped. I was wearing my Fields jersey and I was excited. And then they freaking blew it. And it comes down to coaching. That's the bottom line. This coach sucks. The Bears have to completely reset. I've already started looking at I know you were talking about Houston earlier, Corey. I'm looking at their offensive coordinator, Slowick. He came from the Kyle Shanahan tree, which I love. I know he's only had 1 year where it's his show, but I'll take him immediately.
I thought you're getting Harbaugh.
Caleb Williams.
Harbaugh.
I don't think Harbaugh's coming back to the league, honestly. I think
if they win a championship, if Michigan wins the championship, he's coming to Chicago.
Well, he's been trying to get in the league for the last couple of years, and no one will give him a job. So I don't know what the issue is. Maybe it's communication, maybe it's where he ruffles feathers and he's out the door in 5 years, and
because that's
owners don't want to hire new head coaches. I mean, it'll stop the Bears. All they do is hire yes man. We hired Mark Trestman over Bruce Arians. We hired Mark Trestman over Bruce Arians. We had Bruce Arians in the building. You let him go coach the Cardinals to a Super Bowl. I mean, over and over we hired these idiots.
Fair enough. I mean, look,
it's all the way at the top, dude.
So all right, real quick. Are you done with Justin Fields or no? Because
honestly, I loved what I saw Sunday. I loved what I saw Sunday, but I think it's about time and money at this point. Justin, you're gonna have to if he's your guy, the starting line is $20 million a year for a quarterback. That's all the start.
I don't think it'd be hard for you all to trade him at all.
I think Atlanta. I said it last week.
I think that
you take Caleb Williams. You take Caleb Williams, and then you take Marvin Harrison Jr. And then you trade away Justin Fields.
If the Bears take Caleb Williams, they will not get as much for Justin Fields that they could get before they take Caleb Williams.
I think they'll trade Justin in season.
They need to get Justin out the door first before they get Caleb Williams, because teams are going to say, I'm not going to pay you a premium dollar for you to have this while you have this quarterback on your roster, because you need to get rid of him. Justin Fields is not going to be a backup quarterback for the Chicago Bears. That's going to create a problem in Chicago. Chicago is going to want to get him out as fast as they can. So for the other 31 teams or however many teams are going to be looking for a quarterback, they're going to sit back and say, I'm not giving you a first-round pick for Justin Fields.
No.
I'll give you a second. I'll give you a third. I mean, look at Trey Lance.
I think second or third would be.
I bet we take a flyer. I bet we take a flyer, and I'm all right with that.
Like I think you were saying earlier, Corey,
under the right coaching, I think he'd be okay.
If like you were saying earlier, Corey, if Justin, remember the 49ers traded up in that draft.
Yeah,
they drafted Trey Lance over.
That was not Kyle. That was John Lynch.
Well, whomever it was that pulled the trigger, if it was either one of our quarterbacks, they're in a great situation. Yeah. I mean,
Justin Fields will be a Las Vegas Raider. Mark Davis, Al Davis, they love speed, and Justin Fields has it.
I'm still thinking Atlanta, man. He's from Atlanta. He's from the area. They got Ryan Pace down there in their front office who drafted him here in Chicago.
Arthur Smith is a good coach.
I believe that. I do believe that. And you got a two-headed monster, Justin Fields and Bijan Robinson in the backfield. I mean, Bears fans were talking about that last offseason, but I was like, we got to go O-line or D-line. There was no question of what
I know in fantasy-wise, I know we're giving up on Kyle Pitts. I'm not giving up on him. There's no way that talent isn't this good. There's just no way.
You talking about Pitts or Fields?
Pitts. I'm talking about Pitts, but yeah.
Doesn't matter how good you are if you don't have somebody throwing you the ball.
Exactly. Thank you.
I mean, you got to get somebody in there. Not to say that Justin Fields is a better quarterback than Desmond Ridder, but Justin Fields ain't the best thrower either.
Yeah.
I mean, he's better than he's a immediate upgrade over Desmond Ridder.
Right.
But I would look at the other side of the ball of this game, and I look at the Denver Broncos, who are 1-3, and I look at Sean Payton, who Russell Wilson is not his quarterback. I don't think Russell Wilson's going to be in Denver for too much longer. And I honestly could see the Denver Broncos continuing to lose and then saying, Russ, we're sending you to Atlanta. I could see Russell Wilson getting traded from this team for Sean Payton to get a quarterback in there that Sean Payton wants.
Who's their backup in Denver? They traded for.
They have
Jarrett Stidham.
Jarrett Stidham. Yep.
Yeah. So he's like a pocket passer guy.
But Sean Payton and Russell Wilson, their personalities do not vibe. And looking at who we picked for the 6-pack challenge this week, it would have been great if Sean Payton was Sean Payton and leading the Broncos the way that they should be led. And if Aaron Rodgers was still with the Jets because they play each other this week, and that would have been fantastic to have in the 6-pack challenge. But both of those teams are, a little bit poverty right now.
Yeah. And it seems like the Jets' schedule was set up for Aaron Rodgers' run. I mean, Sunday Night Football last week. I feel like they're in prime time almost every week.
Yeah, but when you think about it, like the schedule is looking pretty shitty now because obviously Aaron Rodgers is not there. But like the AFC East has the hardest 4 schedules, period. So I think that's why they did that. Minus the Aaron Rodgers, minus the Patriots, minus Josh Allen. I think that's just in general, that's why they did that, because they knew they were going to be good games.
And they want that New York market. You put a New York team on there and get the eyes like they did last week with the Giants, even though they're horrible. I mean,
once the flex starts, there ain't going to be a New York team except Buffalo allowed. It ain't happening. It just is not happening.
Well, now that I've went on my little rant, I don't know how long I was on that, but I think it's a good time to move on. I've made my statements clear. I'm done with our coaching staff completely, and it just sucks at week 4. I'm ready for next year. That it sucks as a Bears fan. I feel like this happens to me yearly or close to it.
If it makes you feel better, Big Cat was ready at week 2, so at least you went to week 4. So
I didn't like Eberflus when we hired the guy. It didn't make sense to me. The whole NFL is hiring offensive minds, and you hire a defensive mind. Not only that, it's a defense that doesn't work, that hasn't worked in years.
Yeah, but you say that, but D'Amico Ryans in Houston, for example,
he doesn't run the Tampa 2. He runs a 4-3.
Okay, all right.
He does not run the Tampa 2. The Tampa 2, you have 2 high safeties, and literally the Chiefs just ran Kelsey up it and anyone underneath it. Just hit them all day because it's there.
Fair enough.
And if you think the linebacker is going to be there, take your running back to it. He's going to follow him. Now, whoa, what do you know? It's wide open.
Fair enough.
Anyway, we'll move on.
When you're right, you're right.
I am
I think as a Bears fan, Aaron, you need to send a strongly worded email to that organization.
Well, I could probably
going to go to a 106-year-old.
So. I could probably send a letter to George McCaskey, but I don't know if he would send me anything back.
You think I'm behind the times? You want to go the Caskies? Okay. Them some bitches are getting still fucking telegraphed.
Hey, those are the owners of the team. They inherited this. They're like, oh, we got butts and seats. That's all that matters to us.
They're still doing the fucking Titanic. Our quarterback's bad. Stop.
Yeah.
We need a new wide receiver. Stop. We needed to figure this out. Stop.
It feels like the Titanic. So the Bears have won. It's been 84 years. Let's move on. Sunday, 1:00. Baltimore traveled to Cleveland and beat the hell out of the Browns, 28-3. I had Baltimore covering. You both have Cleveland covering. I didn't know literally until kickoff that Watson was not playing in this game, and it really changed the outcome. And as a Bears fan, there's a lot of Bears fans calling for Tyson Bagent, at least before this week, when Fields looked good. Tyson Bagent looked good in the preseason, so they were like, let's play the kid and see what he's got. DTR was a good college quarterback. He was a guy that I liked in the draft. This is what happens when you throw a quarterback into a situation that they are not ready for, and that Baltimore defense definitely took advantage. They saved my ass in fantasy this week too because Aaron Jones damn sure didn't. Baltimore 28-3. I'm glad they won. Baltimore looks like they're starting to roll. Mark Andrews is starting to catch some balls for touchdowns, and Lamar Jackson's doing more than just running the ball. I'm glad I picked Baltimore to win this division. They seem to be doing pretty well with it, and I'm happy for that. But Corey, what did you feel about this game?
So I put a lot of money on this game as well. I did not think it was going to go this way. Also, I didn't know that Deshaun Watson was just going to be like, we're good. We'll sit out this game. We're just going to sit out this game. I did not know that was happening.
I think I already had a shoulder injury. I don't know if it was.
Yeah, he was.
He was good. Go ahead, Kyle.
He was medically cleared. He was medically cleared to play, and from an organization or a teammate standpoint, when you have a tight end on your roster who suffered burns to his face and his hands, and he's still suited up, ready to play, but your quarterback who is medically cleared to play decided to sit, and your quarterback is also a fully guaranteed contract too.
So my thing was I picked the Browns to win this division, but like the Ravens clearly are in first place, and it's not even close. That defense quietly, they have a third of their roster on an IR, and yet they are still doing this to this division right now, and it's nasty. It's nasty what they're doing. So I hope, for the sake of my pick, I hope Deshaun figures it out, I guess. I don't know, but like I was not expecting 20. I was not expecting 28-3 at the Elf. The Elf.
I picked Baltimore +3, but I didn't expect a beating like this. Like even and I liked
that's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
I liked Dorian Thompson-Robinson, but
look, he had no help. Aaron, he had no
on top of that, they threw
the
the ball like 38 times with a first time starting quarterback. Like you've got two good running backs back there. Just turn around.
Yeah, how many reps did DTR have with anybody at all? Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I think for me, it's what's crazy, like Corey said, is it's literally next man up in Baltimore. They were without Odell Beckham. They didn't have Rashad Bateman. I've got my phone close waiting for Harbaugh to call me to come play maybe a little bit of fullback or running back or something. I'd probably make it one play and then get a career-ending injury, but
you could probably get a half a yard on 4th and 1, right?
Exactly.
At the end of the day, Flowers didn't do anything either in this game. So
Lamar,
say it like you say it, Corey. Say it like you say it.
What?
You said Flowers. I know how
Flowers.
You say it.
Flowers.
I was listening to you and Chris talk about him from week 1, and y'all kept saying Flyers.
Flyers didn't do shit, but but that's the thing too. They still did that without Flyers.
It kills me.
I just wonder what this game would have looked like if Deshaun Watson did play, because Cleveland has a nasty defense, and it's not like Baltimore was running up and down the field against them. Mm-hmm. Baltimore's defense won them this game. Lamar didn't throw for over 200 yards. They didn't have I don't know how many total offensive yards they had, but I wonder what this game would have looked like with Watson.
Did he rush for 2 and throw for 2?
He ran for 2 touchdowns, but he had like 25 yards rushing.
Well, you brought up a good point about the locker room. How do they feel when they're starting quarterback in a divisional game? It's not like they were playing the Arizona Cardinals, who aren't in their division, and they'll probably win either way. It's a big game. It matters. Every game matters in that division. And for him to be cleared and just say, "Nah, I'm good." Like, what's that do to Myles Garrett? Who's out there putting his body on the line.
What's the last part about Myles Garrett? Is he hurt?
I'll be honest.
I thought he was
on at the same time as the Bears game. I had him split screen, but I was kind of.
I'm not looked, but I thought Myles Garrett is hurt.
Oh, that's not
like
good.
Not for the year, but like
I haven't.
Fair enough. We'll talk about it later. That's fine. That's fine.
Are there any other
I
games
thought-
from last week you guys
Oh.
wanted to cover, or that's the end of our 6-pack challenge for last week?
Real quick, I guess Myles Garrett left the stadium in a walking boot, but they have a bye week this week, so it gives him time to kind of heal up and gives Watson another week to heal up as well. So
Can we
maybe
talk
that's
about the bye week for a little bit?
Well,
how
We talk
early
about
it
that
is?
for a little bit. Oh, and how late it is too.
I
It
hate
starts
the-
at week
I hate the
14,
early bye week,
and then it
though.
goes to week 13.
You mean
Starts at week 4. Starts at
Yeah.
week 4, and then goes
Week
to week
5.
13.
Week 5.
I'm sorry, week 5, and then goes to week 13. No, now it goes to week 14 because yeah. All right, I'm not cool with that. I'm not cool with that.
See,
Like,
my
that's not-
thinking is you get to
Mm.
week 8 or 9, and week 8 you give half the league a week off, and week 9 you give the other half a week off, or half the league off, and that
and
way
you can still do
have
premier
at least-
games. Yeah,
you at least have games going on,
Yeah.
and it gives everybody the same competitive, advantage, I guess you could say. An early bye doesn't help you. An early
No,
bye does not
nor
help you
does a
very much.
late one, honestly.
No.
Like when you think about it.
I mean, it just really depends on how banged up you are. Like the Bears sitting at 0-4. If we had a bye week this week, I'd be like, fucking, let's get our shit together, figure it out. We saw some good things from Justin last week. Let's see what we can do. But a late bye week, if you're like, say, the Bills, what position are they going to be in? I don't know when they have their bye, but if they had it like week 12, week 13,
I think it's
you're
week
using
13.
that. You're
Week
using
13, I
that to
think.
heal up and make your playoff push.
Yeah.
I agree with what Kyle said. Half the league 8 and half the league 9. Doing it like that makes sense, but I mean, I can't really complain too much. I mean, every team has it. It just kind of it's luck of the draw. It seems like when you get it.
No, it's not. I'll say this on behalf of as a Patriot fan. We've always since I've been watching the Patriots had our week bye at like 8, 9, 10, 11, or 12. We've never had it 4, 5 or 13, 14 or anything like that. It's always been the middle of the season. And I think that's kind of biased. Like, I don't know how it works out. No, I'm being honest. Because like there's been one season where I think we had like a week 5 and I was like, oh, this is bullshit. But that's it. That's it. That is it.
Yeah, no early buys really stick out in my mind. I think the Bears may have had an early buy either 2018 or 2019 when Nagy was there, and that's the only time I can remember being like, why is the buy that early? Other than that, I mean, it is what it is. I think they got a late buy this year, which they could be finalizing their tanking options at that point. I don't know. But
breaking news, real quick. Breaking news: Kyler Murray is not coming back this year. I don't know if anybody cares, but he's not coming back this year.
Is that
Is
breaking?
that
Is that
official?
Corey? Is that a hypotenuse, or is that what that would be? A hypotenuse? Is that actual news, Corey, or are you just saying that?
Yeah, it's he's not getting off the PUP, which means this is Josh Dobbs' team for the next at least 6 weeks.
I thought that was another Corstradamus prediction for a second there. I didn't know.
Yeah, but like, I mean, shit, Arizona doing what Arizona's doing right now. Like, that's a fun team. I picked up a guy off Arizona. Like, it's a fun team. Like, why not? Like,
yeah, I mean, they got their asses kicked by San Francisco last week, but
well,
they
it's
looked,
San Francisco. But
they I don't know if you guys watched any of that. The Cardinals were wearing these all white uniforms, and they looked fucking sweet, dude. They had the white helmets and everything. They looked really good.
And then Christian McCaffrey proceeded to score 4 touchdowns. Yeah,
well, I mean,
Yeah.
Christian
See
McCaffrey
what
is a
happened.
monster, dude.
hate to see it.
Yeah. Well, is there any other games from last week you guys wanted to touch on?
Nope.
Well, I've got one, and I don't even know who they played, but the Los Angeles Chargers played somebody, and Khalil Mack had 6 sacks, 5 tackles for loss,
yeah.
2 forced fumbles.
They played a rookie quarterback.
Meanwhile, the Chicago Bears have 2 sacks on the entire season. That was a guy that we traded away.
That's tough.
He wasn't doing that in a Bears uniform in their defense, and he was getting paid like TJ Watt.
They played Vegas.
Well,
And they played their
Aiden
rookie.
O'Connell.
Yeah,
Wow,
there you
welcome to the league, Rook.
But since we're talking about trades, Aaron, since you brought it up, New England doing what they do best, letting their good players leave, get big money contracts, and then come back a year or two later by trading today for J.C. Jackson. They sent a 2025 sixth rounder, and they got a 2025 seventh and J.C. Jackson back. And the Chargers are paying him $12 million this year.
I don't know what happened there. If there was a locker room thing or something, I don't know. Because I was pissed when J.C. Jackson left, and then we get him back for that. I was like, all right, well, that's cool. That's cool.
They did the same thing with Trent Brown. Trent Brown left, went to the Raiders, and then they traded back for him, and they let the Raiders pay the man.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
But like, it's like when I seen that pop up, it was like 4 hours ago or something like that. When that popped up, I was like, okay, we're still not gonna do anything tonight or this week or this year, but like, fuck it, I'll take JC back. I love JC Jackson. And then when we let him go, death taxes and Patriots letting everybody go, we got him back. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, the Patriots.
We're still gonna lose another fucking 10 games, but whatever.
If there's one thing the Patriots are going to do, they're going to get the best out of their corners. That's for damn sure. Bill Belichick will get the best out of you. And yeah, I didn't even. That's breaking news to me. I haven't been looking at my phone or anything today. Like I said, work's been insane this week, so I haven't been able. That's wow. Good for your Patriots.
I'm tickled pink. I don't know. We didn't give it nothing for it, but like I don't know what the fucking thinking is going on with Belichick and all them.
Well,
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Christian Gonzalez, I think, was the first round pick for the Patriots. Is out for the season.
That hurt me. That hurt me so much.
Out for the season, down. And then
Judon's
also
out.
got hurt too. So I mean, the Patriots, who normally have a very, very good defense, are losing guys, left and right. So
that hurt me when Judon and Gonzalez in the same game went down. Man, that was my favorite fucking pick.
But to talk about injuries, the New York Giants injured, I think, a fullback and maybe a lineman or something by trying to do the brotherly shove that the Eagles do.
I heard about that.
On Monday Night Football. They tried to push Daniel Jones, and in that scrum, they
got
two different plays, I believe it was. They had two different injuries. So, yeah.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to have the right personnel. Corey, did you want to talk about your Patriots a little bit before we move on to next week?
I'm good. I'm good. We played who I think is going to probably win the NFC. It's going to be them or San Francisco. I didn't like the play calls. Look, Mac Jones is not the guy. Here's a stat that I'm not jacked about. The fact that we've spent more money on wide receivers and tight ends for the past 2 years, and we have nothing to show for it. That's what I'm pissed about the most.
Yeah.
And then Mac Jones is supposed to half-ass his way through all of that stuff. So, that's all I got to say about it.
I mean, if you guys are bad enough, maybe you guys can get Drake May or something. Caleb Williams is going to be in Chicago, so you won't get him. Wow, I didn't mean to piss you off that bad. Just take your whole headset off.
we need the little circle thing that says technical difficulties as Corey's, over here cussing out his headset,
Oh man. That's crazy. We're dealing with some things today. I forgot where I was going with that. I mean, I guess maybe the Patriots end up with another quarterback because they're pretty high up in that draft.
I didn't leave. I didn't leave because I was mad. I left because my headphones fucked up. Sorry.
I think the Patriots. Here's the thing with Bill Belichick.
You said you didn't like the coaching, and then you just rip your headset off like a coach. I didn't.
Oh well.
Throw down the Microsoft Surface as well. I think Bill Belichick retires either after this season or next season because he just doesn't have it anymore. The things that he's doing with these quarterbacks and bringing guys onto the practice squad and getting rid of all of his quarterbacks before the season starts but subjecting them to waivers and stuff like that and bringing in Will Grier, who then Will Grier disappears. And then it seems like he's missing more and more and more. And maybe Brady was kind of a safety blanket for Belichick, and because he hasn't really always drafted the best or anything like that either. And now you don't have anybody to fall back on, and Mac Jones is not Tom Brady.
So I disagree a little bit with Brady or with Bill Belichick not drafting proper. Look, we've had bad drafts, but the one thing we've gotten good at was corners. We've always drafted corners that were great. Mac Jones was not the person, but we had to take somebody that draft. Yeah. I would have been fine with Jacoby staying. But then we traded him to Indianapolis, whatever. I kind of wish we had Jacoby right now, but whatever. Because he would be fired with Juju, whatever. But like even then, you take Juju, you take Kendrick Bourne, all this shit. You take Hunter Henry, you take all that stuff. We spent so much money. Like instead of buying 2 pieces for $80 million, we bought 9 pieces for $80 million. That's the issue. We didn't buy anybody good. We didn't buy anybody worth of shit. We just
how long until they trade for Hunter Renfrow from the Raiders?
So that's Josh McDaniels. So like he likes white guys too.
They're not using him. They're not using him.
Yeah,
they're not using him.
Yeah, but he likes white receivers too. So like
say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, he likes that too. So I'm not happy with what we're doing, and we still have. I would argue we have a great defense right now, and as much as death taxes, and you can just change out running backs in New England, but Ramondre Stevenson is the best running back we've had since Corey Dillon. And I don't give a shit what anybody says. He is. And then we're wasting him. Yeah. We're just wasting him right now. Yeah. Mac Jones is not the guy. He can be the guy in Arizona or something like that. He's not our guy.
Do you think it's time for a coaching change? Do you think just switching out the quarterback would be because you got Bill O'Brien, who's been a head coach before, just as long as you don't give him personal control of the team, he seems to be a pretty good coach.
Bill O'Brien has been the greatest offensive coordinator that the Patriots have ever had. I stand by that. He has always been. This is his 3rd stint, I think, in New England, and he's always been a great offensive coordinator. So I loved the fact that we got him back.
Yeah,
I was tickled pink when we got him back. Maybe we trade up for. Is Penix coming out because he'll be like the 5th quarterback? Maybe I don't know. Like we're not getting Caleb Williams, obviously. We're not getting the
Drake May.
North Carolina quarterback. Yeah, Drake May. Maybe we get Sam Penix Jr. I don't know.
I think
it's not Mac Jones. It's not Mac Jones.
I think New England brings in a vet at quarterback over a rookie. With Bill Belichick knows that he has 1 or 2 years left. He's calling Josh McDaniels in Las Vegas and he's saying, "Let me get Jimmy G back."
I want Kirk. I want Kirk.
He didn't want to trade Jimmy G as it was, and I don't think Josh McDaniels really wants Jimmy G in Las Vegas, to be honest. But I don't see Belichick taking a rookie and trying to. He doesn't have 3-4 years to try to let this thing develop. Belichick is going to. He doesn't have time, whether it's him retiring or Robert Kraft pushing him out. Because if Green Bay does anything, it's getting rid of quarterbacks and older players before they, hit that decline. And sometimes you got to get him out of there. No offense to Bill Belichick. He has the most Super Bowls ever by one individual with, I think, 9. But
9. Yeah.
Sometimes when it's done, it's done.
Well,
I just real quick, we'll finish it up. If we're spending money, I want to spend money on 2 players for that much, not 9 players for that much. That's what I don't like.
Yeah. Or spend money in the trenches.
I'll tell you what we spent is a lot of time on this
Sorry,
Let's
that
get
was
in-
weird. That's weird. Yeah.
Let's
my
get into this week's six-pack challenge, Aaron, shall we?
Let's do it. Let's do it. We're going to start early with Thursday night football. The Chicago Bears
bad.
traveling to our nation's capital to take on the Washington Commanders. Washington is a 6-point favorite in this game. The over-under is 44.5. The money line is Chicago plus 210. Washington minus 258. As I said before, I liked some of the things I saw with Justin last week. I still don't trust our defense. All that being said, I'm going Bears plus 6 in this game. I think it's a close, contested battle. I think Washington coming off that emotional high of being so close to beating the Eagles last week on their home field, they kind of come down to earth a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong, but it is what it is. We're picking against the spread. I think Chicago covers the 6-point spread in Washington against Riverboat Ron. Corey, what are you feeling on this game?
I feel like it's super high. It's super high for the commies. But I'm taking the commies anyway. I love what Sam Howell's doing down there. I love everything about them. Chicago is the worst team in the NFL right now. I'm going to take Washington at minus 6. I'm glad it's at minus 6. I'm tickle pink. It's minus 6. The over under 44.5. Yeah, I think I'm with you on that, Aaron. I'm taking the under on that. But yeah, Washington clears this. Chicago, I'm sorry, Aaron. It's tough, bud.
I know they're awful. I just felt like this spread was really big. That's the reason why I picked the Bears. I still think they'll
super
lose.
big. That's weird, man.
I think it'll be like a field goal game.
I don't mind losing money on this. I'm taking the commies.
Yeah.
I think with it being a short week, Thursday night football, Riverboat Ron was not riverboating last week against Philadelphia. They scored that touchdown. Was it a last play? Normal Ron Rivera brings out his offense for a 2-point conversion. Now, he did come out and say that his team was gassed from driving down the field and everything, but Ron, you're not going to get another chance. You don't want to give Philadelphia the ball back. You should have went for 2. You lose by going for 2. You're probably going to lose to Philadelphia in overtime anyway. I'm not impressed this year with Philadelphia, and I know Philadelphia doesn't really have anything to do with this game, but Washington did just play them. Philadelphia has not looked like Philadelphia from last year. I'm not sold on Washington right now. Now, granted, Chicago sucks. How do you blow a 21-point lead to a team that gave up 70 points the week before?
With a defensive head coach, how do you do it?
With a defensive head coach, how do you do that?
Hate to say it, boys.
I think on a short week with a team that's 0-4, who is probably just seething to get their first win, I don't think they win, but it's like the same thing I said last week. Chicago doesn't have to win this game for me to get this pick right. Yeah. They came through for me last week. I'm hoping they come through for me again, but give me Chicago plus 6.
All right, very first game, and we're on the same wavelength there.
Gross.
Last time we did this, we went 0-6.
I don't like it, Aaron. I don't like it.
I can't believe I'm the only one that takes the commies, which death taxes.
I mean, I like Washington. I just thought that was a big number. And
I'm with you. It looks rough. It looks very rough.
Speaking of things I hate, the next game, I'm not a huge fan of the spread. But we're going back to Bloody London, where Jacksonville stayed out there and Buffalo comes in, even though Buffalo's the home team somehow.
So worst fucking.
Every time I try to do a British accent, I sound like a chimney sweep, Gavna. That's all I got. Sunday at 9:30.
Somebody somewhere is offended. I know that.
It is what it is. White people can't be offended. I'm sorry. Cut that out. Sorry. Sunday at 9:30 in the morning. Jacksonville at Buffalo in London. Buffalo's a 5.5-point favorite in this game. The over/under is 48.5. The money line is Jacksonville plus 190, Buffalo minus 230. Man, this one, it was difficult for me to think of because Buffalo's traveling across the pond, even though they're quote unquote the home team. Jacksonville's been there the whole time. 5.5 point spread. But man, Buffalo looked really good last week, and they seem to have it rolling. Jacksonville, sorry guys, I just don't think this is your week. I think Buffalo comes over there and they continue rolling. Josh Allen's got that offense humming, and the defense is stepping up for them too. Buffalo's making that Super Bowl push. The AFC East is freaking lit. Sorry, Corey, that your team is not, but the rest of the AFC East is on fire. I think Buffalo wins this game, and I think they might win it handily, honestly. I think Jacksonville gets pushed around a little bit in London, honestly, guys. Go ahead, Corey. Tell me about this game.
No, it's for me, it's Jacksonville's home. It's not they're actually home now. It's not their home away from home. That's Jacksonville. Duval is their home away from home. I think what's going to happen here is the same thing that happened to Miami last week. Miami got so jacked about their win that they kind of put out like a little turd against Buffalo, and I think Buffalo's doing the same thing. They got so jacked to beat Miami that they have to now travel to London, where Jacksonville has been sitting for 14 days now, 13 days now. And this is the one loss. Well, now they have 2 losses. It would be 2 losses, but I think Jacksonville gives this game up. Or I'm sorry, Buffalo gives this game up a little bit.
Oh wow.
And I'm hammering the shit out of the spread. But like this is not the worst loss ever to a team when you have to travel so far to do all this bullshit versus a team that's been sitting there literally at their home, quote, for 2 weeks. So yeah. I'm definitely taking the points. I'm taking the points, and I might do the money line just because.
I was gonna say it's plus 190 if you like the money line Jacksonville, man. That's good money.
It's traveling sucks for everybody.
Yeah.
Like it just sucks.
So technically, Jacksonville did have to travel for this game. The hotel they were staying in last week. Yeah. The hotel they were staying in last week, they had to move to a new hotel this week, and Buffalo is taking over the hotel that Jacksonville was in.
Yeah, that is true.
Buffalo absolutely blew the doors off of Miami, and Jacksonville has not looked great this season. They should have. I think they should have beaten Atlanta more than they beat Atlanta. But
21-3.
But was it 21-3 or 21? Yeah, I think it was 23. I'm not sold on Atlanta. I don't like Atlanta. I think Atlanta. I think that Trevor Lawrence hasn't found his groove yet, and I think that he finds his groove this week. I think that he gets in sync with his wide receivers. Travis Etienne has a big game, and I'm on Jacksonville plus 5.5. Again, Jacksonville doesn't have to win this game for me to get this pick right. So I'm taking Jacksonville
That's true.
plus 5.5.
Oh, wow. So I feel bad now. That's about that pick. It is what it is. Sunday at 1:00.
You shouldn't feel bad. The Bills are good, first of all.
Yeah, I know. I always second guess myself, and then with both of you guys picking against me, I did this last week with Baltimore, and I turned out being right. But speaking of Baltimore, this Sunday they travel to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a 4-point underdog. The over-under is 38.5. The money line is Baltimore minus 198, Pittsburgh plus 164. I will say this. I love Pittsburgh's coach. Listening to him after a game, and they said, does something need to change? He said, hell yeah, it does. When they asked Matt Eberflus, does something need to change? And he acts like all systems are go. It's completely different situation. However, Baltimore is on a roll. To me, they travel into Pittsburgh. Kenny Pickett is a game time decision, so it might be Mitch Trubisky time in Pittsburgh.
It's also 1:00 game. That matters in AFC North. That does matter.
Yeah, and Kenny Pickett says he'd be good to go, but who knows? He might come in there and Roquan Smith hits him one good time, and he's like, I'm out, fellas. I don't know. Because Roquan's looking like a stud again. I mean, it is what it is. Give me Baltimore -4. I would hammer this. The over-under is kind of enticing there, 38.5. But go ahead, Corey. Tell me about this game.
I'm gonna hammer the Ravens +4. That's just not fair.
That's -4, Baltimore.
I'm sorry, yeah, -4. But it's just not fair. And I'm also gonna hammer the over. I think clear weather. It's gonna be nice there. Might be some scoring. mainly from Baltimore. But yeah, Ravens are a better team. They just are. Even with a third of their fucking roster out, they're just a better team right now.
They seem better prepared for that kind of stuff because it happens to them yearly, it seems like. Kyle, go ahead.
I think we would go back to week 1 and watch San Francisco travel to Pittsburgh and absolutely beat the brakes off of them. I don't want to be on the wrong side of a quarterback being inactive last minute and stuff. And I also don't think that Baltimore is getting the respect that they deserve. And I don't think that Pittsburgh has earned any respect when you get slapped in the mouth by the Houston Texans the way that they did.
It makes so that's a good point. That's a great point. CJ Stroud just fucking walked all over
him.
And the fact that Ravens are doing what they're doing with a third of their roster or 2/3 of the roster, that's insane.
Yeah. Surely is. Kyle, you're on Baltimore.
I'm on Baltimore minus 4. Now we all were on Miami last week and we all looked like damn fools.
Yeah.
So let's hope that
Pittsburgh comes out and shoots like 45 out.
How crazy would that be? That would be insane. TJ Watt has a game of a lifetime. Well, speaking of Houston,
catches 2 touchdowns as a tight end like his brother used to do. He's the emergency quarterback after Trubisky gets hurt. Go ahead, Aaron. I'm so sorry.
That's cool. Speaking of Houston, that's our next game, Sunday at 1:00. I wanted to talk about this because I felt like we haven't touched on Houston a lot this year, and they're doing some good things down there in H-Town. Sunday at 1:00, Houston at Atlanta. Atlanta's a 2-point home favorite. The over-under is 41. The money line for Houston is plus 110. Atlanta minus 130. I have already bet the Houston money line on this. Give me Houston plus 2. I feel like they're really rolling. Like I said, I love their offensive coordinator. I love the coaching staff down there. I love the team they're putting together. And CJ Stroud looks like the real deal early in his career, but he looks like the real deal. He's passing really well. He's making good decisions with the ball. So, I mean, Houston looks like they might be able to take that division if Jacksonville keeps slipping. So, Houston plus 2 for sure.
I'll take. I've been Team CJ Stroud the entire time. He is crushing right now. I cannot wait to win a lot of money on this fucking game.
Yeah.
Taking Houston, I'm taking all the above. All the above for Houston. Like they're going to crush Atlanta.
Well, here we go again. We were made to look like fools last week when we were all on Miami. But like I just said, the last game we just picked, and even before that, Atlanta's not good. Atlanta is not good. How are you going to favor them by 2 points over a Houston Texans team that is just vibing and rolling right now?
Right.
You got a lot of young core, but you also have a lot of veterans on that team too, and you're being led by a dog in DeMeco Ryans. Yeah. I'm with Aaron. Give me Houston money line on this one. I'm going to take the points because we're being offered it. So Houston plus 2 for me. It's too easy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm betting a couple C notes on this game. This is money. No, this is just easy money right here.
I mean, even when I'm perfectly content with, I know this is going to happen. The most I'll bet is like $25. Your boy don't put a lot of money on that.
Don't worry about it.
Well, Corey spends just as much in gas getting to the casino to make his bets. So
it's an accurate statement. Yeah. Hey, I have a Civic that gets 43 miles a gallon.
Damn. All right, let's move on. Sunday at 4:05, the Philadelphia Eagles traveling over to the West Coast to take on the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are 4-point home dogs. The over-under in this game is 50.5. Money line is Philly minus 218. LA Rams plus 180. I have not heard yet if Cooper Kupp is coming back from IR this week.
I don't think he'll be back. He will not be back.
Okay, but either way, I really like what they're doing with Puka Nacua. I like what Matt Stafford's been doing. I feel like Philly has not lived up to just going to the Super Bowl. I keep hearing about Jalen Carter being this unstoppable force and incredible defensive tackle.
Kind of is.
Well, he'd be different on our D-line. I promise you that.
That's true. But like he's kind of badass right now.
Yeah, but I mean, he's got dogs around him. But
okay,
give me the Rams at home dogs plus 4. I think Matt Stafford gets that offense rolling a little bit, and it might be a field goal game. Just like Kyle said several times, the Rams do not have to win for me to win this bet. I think Rams cover the 4-point spread. Tell me what you're thinking, Corey.
I wish this spread was a little bit bigger. Cooper Kupp's not coming back. I'll take Philly on this. If it was minus 6.5, maybe, but no, I'm taking Philly on this. They need to bounce back too sometimes. So I'm taking Eagles.
Eagles. EAGLES.
So Cooper Kupp, there's not been anything.
Gross.
There's not been anything out on Cooper Kupp yet to say that he's not playing in this game.
No, he's not playing.
From what I've heard today is that his hamstring injury wasn't as serious as we were led to believe earlier in the year. I think Cooper Kupp has a chance to play in this game. And I think that if Cooper Kupp plays in this game, you're going to have a nasty duo, whether he plays in this game or not.
Yeah, so you can trio. You can say technically trio.
That's true. But, I mean, look at the way the Rams are playing without Cooper Kupp. Now, granted, their offensive line has not been great, and they're going up against a really good defensive line in Philadelphia. But Philadelphia has not gotten it together yet this season. They are not winning games the way that they should be winning games. They let Washington hang around and take them into overtime. Matt Stafford, I believe, is also dealing with an injury, but Matt Stafford is always dealing with an injury.
Death, taxes, and Matt Stafford.
And a Matt Stafford injury. Right.
Yeah.
If Cooper Kupp plays in this game, if he plays, and it's a big if, I think that the Rams could give Philadelphia their first loss of the season. The Rams don't have to win this game for me to get this pick right. I'm taking LA at +4 on this.
So I'm the only one taking the Eagles. Fuck.
I think it could be a field goal game. And even without Cooper Kupp, the way that the Rams have played these teams this year, they were what? The two games they lost by 7 points or less. And that was to San Francisco and a Monday night in Cincinnati team as well. So, but they took San Francisco to the brink. Now they were down by 10 and hit a field goal, so it makes it look better than it really was, but they still hung around with San Francisco. And I think San Francisco is the best team in the NFC.
Yeah. And that was a weird game against San Francisco because it was a 7-point spread and they kick a field goal. That was a little weird. And then last week, Patrick Mahomes could have ran it in for the -9 that 91% of America had bet on, and he
I don't want to talk about that
before he gets into the end zone.
I don't want to talk about it.
Maybe a little tampering.
I'll say this with Philly and at the Rams. I was super surprised it was +4. Okay. But I kind of get it. But this is like you want to talk about, like, we have to technically, pick somebody. This is the most game I don't want to actually do anything on at all. Like, the most one I just want to stay the fuck away from so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, but we got to pick it. It's a good game. I thought it'd be great for the 6-pack challenge. I mean, speaking of a stay away
game.
You
did perfect. Yeah, you did perfect.
Yeah. Speaking of a stay away game for me as a gambler, Sunday Night Football, the game of the week. Two freaking powerhouses, Dallas at San Francisco. This is the kind of games that you want to see on Sunday Night Football. This could be an NFC Championship preview. San Francisco at home, -3.5. The over-under is 45. The money line for Dallas is +142. For San Francisco is -170. This is Ali in his prime versus Tyson in his prime if you had a time machine.
So we're in St. Clair, right?
Yes, this is in San Francisco, or quote unquote San Francisco. Yeah. Both these defenses are absolutely incredible, totally stacked. Give me San Francisco at home. I know 3.5 is tough, this could be a field goal game, and maybe this will come back to bite me in the ass. But I love San Francisco. I've been saying it all year. This is going to be the team that represents the NFC in the Super Bowl, especially if everyone can stay healthy. And strangely, I trust Brock Purdy more than I do Dak Prescott, and I trust Kyle Shanahan more than I do McCarthy. So give me San Francisco at home. Give me the points. Go ahead, Corey.
Oh, man. I know I'm probably going to lose on this. I just made a huge trade, Kyle, you know, and Aaron, you know, too, for Deebo Samuel. He might be out this game. I think Dallas's defense is better than San Fran's defense, which is horrible to think about. But I think, too, also that Dallas's offense can keep up with San Fran's offense. So I hate it. I hate it. I fucking hate it. I hate Mike McCarthy. I hate everybody. I'm picking Dallas. I'm picking Dallas plus. You give me 3.5.
That half point is the kicker.
Yeah, that's the half point. I got to keep Dallas. I'm gonna put a couple C notes on this game. I have to pick Dallas. I just have to. I hate it. I fucking hate it, but I have to pick Dallas.
Split the difference for us, Kyle.
So one of the big things that I look at in this game, and I would agree that Dallas has a really, really good defense. At least they appear to be really, really good, right? When you're playing 4 of the bottom 10 teams in the league, yes, the Jets, the Patriots, the Giants, the Cardinals, your defense is going to look really, really good. We're talking about a Dallas Cowboys team that lost to the Arizona Cardinals, who have not been favored and were not slated to be favored in any of the games that they played this year. Now, the Cardinals have been playing light years above where they actually are. The Cowboys blew the brakes off of the Jets. They just blew the brakes off of your beloved Patriots, Corey. They blew the brakes off the Giants. But the Cowboys have not needed their offense and those 3 games that they won. When they needed their offense against the Cardinals, Dak threw it into triple coverage for a game-sealing interception. You can't defend Christian McCaffrey. You can't defend Deebo Samuel. You can't defend Brandon Ayuk. You can't defend George Kittle. And you sure as hell can't defend Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy. However, the 3.5 line, I don't have to pick the winner of the team game, but I'm picking the winner of the game because they're winning by a touchdown, and that's the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, you did a little curveball on me there. I thought for sure you were going Dallas after all that.
I'm taking the Niners at minus 3.5, but I think they'll win by 7.
Wow. Okay. Well, you split the difference for us there. Yeah, that's definitely a game I'll be tuning into. Sunday Night Football.
Definitely watching that one, man.
That is a heavyweight fight, and I'm excited for it for sure. Man, fellas, we had a long show today. Had a lot to get off our chest, but I think we did a great job with our picks. Are there any other games for this upcoming week that you guys might want to talk about? Like, I think Kansas City. Who did we say they play? They're probably going to blow out. I think they play Denver or something.
They play the Vikings. I mean, the only game that I'm surprised. I know Aaron picks the games for the 6-pack challenge. It's revenge week for Davante Adams. Green Bay's traveling to Vegas. I think Jimmy G is probably going to play. I don't know about Alexander. If Alexander plays and they match up him against Davante Adams, I think that's going to be a great matchup to see. Personally, as a Packers fan, I think Green Bay is going to win that game, but I've been wrong multiple times on the Packers this year. So that's, obviously as a Packers fan, that's what I'm looking at. It is Monday night, but just the storyline of Davante Adams, an unhappy Davante Adams in Vegas, no matter how much you give him the ball, if he's not winning, he's unhappy, who could potentially be traded by the trade deadline. But watching him go against Green Bay is something big for me, I think.
I guess Corey's done with the show. I don't know. He keeps backing out on us. Yeah, that's Devontae against Green Bay. I saw it on the schedule and I thought about putting it in there, but I really liked some of the matchups that I had, and I just couldn't find a game to pull to put that in for. That's definitely going to be something to watch on Monday night in Vegas. That those two teams. I don't trust Vegas, man. I just don't trust them, and I don't think the coaching staff's all that good. I feel bad for Devontae, honestly. I mean, that guy went there to be with Carr, and then they trade away Carr. I mean, like, what, you expected this guy to just be happy with that? I don't know. It's ugly in Vegas. Maybe the only team other than my Bears that and I get to go see that slobber knocker of a game in a couple of weeks. So we'll close this thing out and bring it back next week and recap all of this for you on the 12-ounce Curl Route podcast. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to Daily Football Roundup on YouTube. We go live on Facebook. It's on Twitter. It's on all those things. Look up the 12-ounce Curl Route podcast on Spotify, iTunes, anywhere you get your podcast from. Leave us a review. We'd appreciate it. Definitely subscribe to all this stuff. And thanks. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.